Okay, folks, we're pretty deep into 2019, so I figured, obviously there's going to be a lot of music coming out in the autumn of 2019 and probably the holiday season, that sort of stuff. So I wanted to start making like my rounds as far as the music that I'm looking forward to this year. I didn't do that last year, but I kind of was taking a break last year, but I felt, obviously there's music that I do want to come out this year. I may not always sound like the most excited about music lately, but I'm going to do six. Six, it's kind of a dark number. It's kind of like, 3 6 Mafia, Marilyn Manson, they like that sort of thing. So we're just going to go with six. This is kind of like a carnivorous number to show albums that I'm interested in that will hopefully all six of them will come out this year. So the first one is the Body Count album by Ice-T. Now, I heard about that looking across some websites last year, and Body Count came out with an album in 2017. I don't remember if I reviewed it, but I think I almost did, or at least talked about it briefly. I mean, that album, Bloodlust, was pretty good. I would definitely say, that has good material there, but I'm really interested in what Carnivore is going to sound like, because Ice-T sounds pretty much revitalized. I'm glad that he came back to this. I mean, he had been doing Body Count more than his rap albums lately, and it just has a good charm to it. I want to start to vibe with it a little bit more. I mean, Ice-T had been making albums since the 80s, so obviously it's good to see that kind of stuff. And just with him having a fresh bite lately, I'm excited to see what's going to happen there. I want for the singles to start coming out pretty soon. I really hope this album doesn't get delayed. Number two, Marilyn Manson. He has been saying on Twitter, if you've seen some of his posts, and even Instagram, that he has a new album coming out this year. I don't know what it's called. I think really he was going to call, like, his original 2017 album was going to be called Satan, but he hasn't talked about it as much. I mean, I'm really interested to see what's happened. I mean, he went on tour again with Rob Zombie. He's currently doing, like, I think the Twins of Evil tour, but I'm really hoping that this will. I mean, last year he just came out. It was just like within 3 or 4 weeks of the album coming out, he dropped the song, and then that was just it. I mean, but he did actually promote Heaven Upside Down for at least 5 or 6 months after that album came out, and I was kind of with it. And he dropped like a song off a soundtrack that I forgot about. I was going to mess with that last year, but that's another one. Three would be Rob Zombie. He's been talking about an album. I mean, really, I messed with Rob Zombie early 2016, and that was when he dropped his latest album. So I didn't quite get around to it because I wanted to mess with Dragula and Living Dead Girl and some of those songs. But um, yeah, he's just been working on movies, and I'm interested to see what's going to happen there. So obviously, I want things to kind of be more within like the vibe of Dragula, just to be able to get another hit like that. Maybe not. It's not so much that he hasn't been able to do that. It just is in terms of just earworm kind of. It's so stupid or so ignorant that it winds up just being addictive. I think that sometimes there are just addictive songs that really suck, but other times there are songs that are good but are just not addictive, so they don't chart as high. And I feel like the addictive part, I think, is like an extra vibe that needs to happen with that album. So I want to see what's going to go on there. But I'm hoping, it's still not summer. I mean, we still have quite a bit of May, June, July, August to kind of see if some of these rock groups and just rap groups in general are going to wind up doing some sort of summer type things. I hope that everyone just doesn't save all their best stuff for autumn. That's another thing. After that, I'd probably say that number four would be DJ Paul. I don't know if I talked about him, but yeah, I'm trying to think here. I talked about Marilyn Manson, Rob Zombie, and then I talked about Ice-T. So four would be DJ Paul. I mean, I haven't messed with him for a while, but I used to back in the first year or so of Acid Roots, and obviously I didn't realize that he dropped another album in 2016. I kind of took a break after A Master of Evil. That was also around that time that I stopped talking about the smoking songs, the song that you should smoke to. So I wanted to kind of get back into that vibe. I mean, DJ Paul, I follow him on Instagram. He's kind of mellowed out. He's not on Percocets and Oxycontin and all that sort of stuff now. So, or if he is, he just doesn't broadcast it as much. So I wanted to see. I mean, he has apparently said that he's going to call his next album like Dracula, which is really pretty. I like those vibes just as far as that goes. I mean, he's one with horrorcore at this point. So I'm interested in that. I just want to get back to some of that stuff. I need to start messing with Yelawolf and his Trunk Music album just to get back to some of those horrorcore vibes. I feel like I need to revisit it, especially at my age, me being 30. So that's number four. Number five would be Dead. This that they're kind of an awkward one to talk about, but I would say obviously if you don't know them, they're kind of a newer band. They dropped their debut back in 2017, but on my local rock radio, I remember hearing like multiple songs off of that album. So obviously any band at this point that can get more than 3 songs on the radio, on rock radio, and have them just, actually get some decent airplay is worth talking about. And they do new metal. I think they probably do it between like a mixture of like Limp Bizkit and then Korn, and then maybe a little bit of well, this is kind of tricky. I mean, I like the vocalist. I mean, that's the thing, is it has like a fresh sound to it. It doesn't sound like it's in 2006 or 2003 or something. So I kind of want to see if they can do it a second time, because obviously when I go to their Wikipedia page, it still is kind of scant. It doesn't have too many details. It seems like it needs to expand a bit. So I want to see them do that. Number 6 would be Korn. Obviously I did enjoy the Serenity of Suffering quite a bit a couple of years ago, but it's kind of narrowed down. I don't really hear Rotting in Vain or any of the other singles that much on the radio anymore. So I just want to revisit the dark vibes and just the shrill kind of chilling vibes of Korn. I mean, they really nailed it back in 2016. That was a good type thing to it, but I just almost forgot about that. So I need like to revisit the world of Korn and be reminded. I mean, it's the 20th anniversary almost of Issues, so I kind of want to see if they can recapture that again also like that. So those are the 6. I hope all 6 of these albums come out. And I'll probably start to feature some coverage just about a bunch of these. It'll probably just be, some excitement, some just vibes with it, just trying to see like what else would actually happen with some of these groups and stuff.